What is up, Twitch stream? This is the KitBash3d Festival. I am Banks, and today I could not be more pumped to introduce to you probably who you already know, Mr. Maxx Burman. What up, Max?
What's up, guys? Banks got me a webcam, so now I have to put on clothes.
And now you got his face. You got the full frontal of Maxx
I'll
Burman.
never forgive you for it.
You know, what's so funny is half these people on the stream probably don't know what you look like until now.
Yeah, sorry to disappoint.
Unless maybe they saw the insights video on the site.
Yeah, that's true. Or met me somewhere in Croatia, maybe. I met a ton of the people who are always on the stream in Croatia.
What was the name of that? I was talking about that event yesterday, but I forgot the name.
IFCC.
Ah, yes, it was.
Yeah.
It was that one. I was talking to David Tilton, who brought up such cool advice on how to network and how to use events to become part of this community, which the VFX community is such a tight-knit, friendly community. Can you talk just a little bit about your business talk out there and sort of the overall premise of that?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'd never been to an event before. That was the first time I ever actually met everyone in person, all these people who I've seen their work for years. And that was incredible. That's where I met Steve Corman and Jan for the first time, even though we've chatted on Facebook a ton. Jan and I were sitting next to each other in a theater listening to Steve's talk. And Steve, in the middle of his talk, was like, people like Max and Jan, and pointed at both of us. We turned to each other. We're like, holy shit, you're Jan? So that was super cool, man. It was getting to actually meet with people and hang out with them, and just go drinking and just geek out. And after that, I'm committed to going to a ton of events next year. And I just want to keep that up because it's such an incredible experience, and it's so valuable for any artists to actually get to know people beyond their artwork, get to know people in a just let's hang out and shoot the shit kind of way.
Yeah, totally. I think, so much of the work we do is digital now. Even you and I are across town right now, but we're doing this digitally. And I think going to an event and putting a face to a digital presence makes the whole thing so much more friendly. Yeah,
it does. You really realize how friendly this community is as soon as you do something like that.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of Jan and Steve Corman, they have all been on this show. And if you are new tuning into the KitBash3d Festival here, we are incredibly grateful to have it be presented by the awesome folks at LearnSquared. And of course, there is a chat stream on the side. So if you are watching, feel free to join the conversation. We've got a couple people already in. We got Joe and we got Octaving. They both say hello. And Joe says nice and amazing. And Chris Bohan says, hey guys. Oh, Max webcam is on.
Not just on, I didn't even have one before. Banks forced this one on me. So
we're growing him up.
Yeah.
So at any point, y'all, join us. Michael says, "What up, Michael Licaboli?" Sometimes
looking good.
Sometimes that yellow is hard to see through. Yeah. Oh, and Chris comes in with looking good. Well, Max, so you've been on vacation, huh? Where'd you go?
I have. Well, I went on an amazing trip with my girlfriend and her family, and we went through Europe, through Spain and France and Italy and Croatia and Kotor and Montenegro. Ridiculous trip. It was awesome.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, tons of inspiration. Came back with wanting to do a million more kits and
I saw awesome. I saw the Instagram posts on your feed. There's so much good architectural inspiration.
Yeah, everywhere. It was it's so beautiful, and it's so good. When you spend so much time in a dark room in front of a computer, it's so good to go out and actually see all this stuff and just experience it. And especially just to bring this into painting, a lot of the times I'll be doing a painting and I'm copying photo reference or lighting reference of something. But that's really different than when you're actually walking around in a street and you feel the emotions of being in a place. and getting to experience that, it adds a lot of depth to your work and gives you more potential later on, I believe, at least.
Yeah, right. A life well lived is one experienced. We've got Emmanuel Shu in the room. Infinite Divide has noticed that as well. And Kalina says, hello, can't stick around today. Super sick with tons of throwing up. Oh, man, sorry, Kalina.
Oh, God. Sorry, Kalina. Feel better. Feel better soon. And
she says, wanted to show my support, though. Would have loved to help out and stuff. Keep rocking, KitBash crew. I got to say,
thanks.
Kalina has been with us this entire stream every day, and she's always in the comment section. She's always bringing energy. She's made a really cool piece, which we will actually show tomorrow on the stream. But let's talk about a little bit about the contest that we have going on. Can we take a look at some of the pieces that have been made under the hashtag KitBash3d Contest? And while you pull that up, I'll tell the audience, at any point, if y'all want to, you can go online to KitBash3d.com where Max's home screen is. And actually, Max, can you show them where the sample kit can be? How you download a sample kit? So if you scroll down here, right in here, if you just punch in your email, we will send you a free sample kit. And that's part of the Gothic kit. And what we're doing right now is the KitBash3d Contest, where if you make something with the sample kit, you can post it anywhere and hashtag KB3D Contest, and then mention us in it too. There it is right there. And yeah, tag us in your photos, and we will be checking out your work on these live streams. We've been doing it throughout this whole KitBash3D festival. And at the end of this thing, all the artists who are on it are gonna take a look at all the work and take a vote. So this is a great opportunity to have your work seen by so many of the people that are on our KitBash3D festival lineup. And it's an awesome chance to just make something really cool. I mean, the work that's come out of this, Max, I think has just been awesome to see.
Oh, it's nuts. It's by far my favorite part about like everything we've been doing with KitBash. Like my favorite thing is seeing all the work that people have been making with it.
That's what Emmanuel said last week too.
It's so cool, man. Let's flip through it. This is a new one that popped up this week, and
from
talk about
Winter Boar. Yeah, Winter.
Talk about creative. Sorry, who was the artist?
Winter_Boar on Instagram. BOAR.
Follow that guy.
I love that too, right? Just taking what Emmanuel talked about so much last week, and I've repeated it 100 times, is he doesn't talk about them in styles, he talks about them in shapes. And so he said, he doesn't look through this thing and think about an idea of a thing. He thinks about shapes that can make something work for his own. I think that's so cool.
Definitely. I think Emmanuel changed the game with these kits last week. Like, after watching his stream, I was like, oh man, this opens up so many ideas and potentials that I hadn't been thinking of. And it's such a badass stream.
I wonder if Winter Boar saw that stream and got inspired.
I hope so, and I feel like that it looks like it, because he's really taking the kits and doing something like completely unique and different and geometric, and I hope so, and if he didn't, then I hope that he does check it out, because I think it'll just inspire him more.
I'm gonna just catch us up on some comments. We've got a bunch of people giving some support to Kalina. Get well. Lucas Brzezinski is in the room. Hey all, he's been very active with us on social media as well. Pumped to see you, Lucas. Infinite Divide, throwing some love towards Kalina. Get well. And the link again for RudyBot. I think Kalina hooked you up here, kitbash3d.com. If you go on there, you can download your own sample kit, and you can jump right in the contest. Use the hashtag KB3D Contest and tag us. What else we got? Kalina's out. We'll see you soon, Kalina. How many times are we have it for, says Alex. How many times do we have it for? How many time are we have it for? Alex, help me out. Let me understand that question a little bit better. I
think it's more of a philosophical thing.
Yeah. How much time do we have it for? You know what he might be asking, Max? He might be asking when is the end of the contest, which is a really great point. Yeah,
and something that sorry that we didn't make it more clear. we were planning on doing it until the end of this like KitBash festival, which ends this week. But since so many people have been downloading the sample kit in the last week and are just getting into the game, we wanted to extend it. So we're going to give like a hard deadline, and let me take a look at the calendar, because a week from next Tuesday is when we want to announce winners.
And I believe that is the 17th.
Yeah, so the deadline would be the 16th.
All right, so October 16th is on the board. That will be the end of the KB3D contest. So get your sample kits and get your work in. Alex says, sorry for my English, guys. No worries, dude. And hope we answered your question. So let's jump back in here. So we've got Winter's made this really cool geometric shape.
Yeah.
I think. Oh, this is from Xander Smith. But let's just hang on to Winter for one more second.
Sure.
I think what's so cool about this is he took a sample kit, which doesn't have the full kit. It doesn't have the full pieces to make a full realized thing. But he built a concept. And he built sort of a minimum viable product that you can jump in and get a really good look at what he is thinking it might be.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just seeing what you can do with, what is it, 8 pieces out of the, the 60 plus piece kit. But with 8 pieces, you can create something like this, like all of these. I mean, it's amazing the creativity that comes out of it.
Bam. Thanks for posting that, Winter Boar. If you're in the chat stream, say what's up. James Vincent's here, and he goes, damn, now I have to get back to work. James, pumped to have you here anyway, man. Okay, what else we got here?
Do we have James's? Well,
James, while you're here, don't go away. So this is James's work, which he has been posting work in progress all the way through. He jumped on this thing on day 1, and has been lighting this thing up. He's let us watch the whole process through social media, which has been really cool. We posted that along the way. So James, your participation and enthusiasm for this, man, is just awesome, and it shows in your work, huh?
Yeah, it's super sick. I love the composition. The colors and the lighting are just gorgeous, buttery. What was the thing yesterday? Juice. It's juice.
Yeah, it's totally juice. And he calls this Reverse World, a little ode to a song by God is an Astronaut, which I think is really, really fun that he took a song and he took some different kinds of media and put them all in together.
Oh, I love that. I'm going to have to listen to the song now.
Yeah, I haven't checked it out myself.
I'm very much that way too. Like, music is for me, it's a visual thing. Like, when I hear music, I have images or colors that come into my head. And I love when people pull inspiration from that. And even better, if you can listen to the song and see the image and get the connection for you. It's amazing.
I gotta ask the people in the stream. I'm watching the stream from my end, and an ad just popped up. Can you guys still see us?
An ad popped up on Twitch?
It popped up on Twitch, but now we're back. So I hope you all saw us. If we're just checking back in with you, let us know. Emmanuel Shu says butter. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And no ad. Great, just for me. I love this, man. The feedback. Being able to talk to you guys and having you guys respond, I think, is just the coolest thing. This is so much more fun than doing this recorded.
Oh yeah, completely.
I love live streaming. I'm a Twitch guy now.
Yeah, awesome job, JB. Like, this is rad, and I'm super stoked that you put this together and that you posted the process on Instagram too. It's cool to see it come together.
Yeah, right? Like, let us all be part of Yoal's process. I think that's what's so cool about Twitch and social media today is we can be here as a community together as it happens. I think that's so rad. Thanks, James. I'll have to shout out to Max, says James. I learned so much from him. Well, right on, man.
Thanks, dude. I'm stoked to hear that. That's my rule in my LearnSquared course. I'll give as much information as I can, but then I get to take credit for everything you do afterwards. So thank you.
And it's not junk arch viz, so I am happy. Right on, man. Yeah, talk about your LearnSquared course for a second, because you have James is one of your students within that course.
I assume so. I assume that's what he means.
Yeah,
or the Twitch, either way.
right, because you stream here in this slot.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, the LearnSquared course is, I did the Intro to Map Painting course, created that, and for that, I really just put everything, like I have no regrets, like nothing I withheld from that, I spent the time to make sure I put everything out there that I would ever want to show or teach for Intro to Map Painting. And yeah, so I'm super stoked at it, and I'm even more happy to see the results and people posting map paintings and the homework and all of that. It makes it worth the time to put that thing together, and gets me energized for putting together the advanced course.
I think the LearnSquared platform is so rad that you can take education, which we're used to being in a classroom and having it happen in the moment, but now you can take all those lectures and all those demonstrations and put them online to where at any point anyone can make it work for them, make it work for their schedule. They can jump in and take any part of your class at any moment and continue to develop as an artist. I think that's so rad.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, if I was teaching at a physical school, I'd only be able to reach 10 students at a time. But with LearnSquared, you can teach a whole lot more people, and from all over the world. It's amazing, and they've just built themselves up as a super pro premium education platform.
Yeah. So if you haven't checked out LearnSquared, which if you're here you probably have, but check them out, LearnSquared.com. You can see Max's class, you can see Alex Vigini's class, who was on the streams, and there's a whole bunch of really cool stuff there. They are the bomb, and we're super pumped to be here with them. James says, yes, I took the class to bump up my matte skills and want to leave doing architectural visual work, or at least bring something else to it. Right on, man.
I just on that note, JV, I did a ton of ArchViz work when I was first starting out. So in between map painting jobs, when I was first, trying to build up my client base, when I'd have gap periods, I had some great architectural companies that I would go and work for in between. And it's really good training, and it's also a really good opportunity to be practicing and sharpening your map painting skills, because it's something that can benefit a lot from the same skills. So it's super cool that you are doing that, and I know if you keep going the route you're going and you want to get out of that, you will.
So rad, man. Well, this next one we've got here is from Xander Smith _design, and this is actually with his Deco Kit. So he bought a kit, and this is what he is working on, and he just posted this as another work in progress to just show an early kick out for where he's going and what he's thinking about.
This is amazing. I really love. Compositionally, I'm a sucker for symmetry. But I also love just how graphic it is, and also it just has almost like a sci-fi vibe to it, even though it's the Art Deco kit. It has this kind of matrixy, what was that movie before the Matrix? Dark City.
Oh yeah, totally.
It kind of reminds me of like Dark City type of thing. Yeah, it's super cool. I really love it.
I love that about Deco too, where or all of these things, as Emmanuel showed, can be taken into whatever period you want, because they're just styles. Just like, I think of them almost like cuisines. You can eat a different cuisine at any point in your day, at whatever time period you're in. And so I think having a different style, you can mix your time periods, and it just shows what the design came from.
Yeah.
Well, sweet, Xander. Thanks for posting that, man, and we look forward to seeing what you got next.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be watching.
And this one came through on Facebook. This is from Andre Ginoza. He posted some really cool stuff last week as well. So he's been cranking out designs with his sample kit.
Yeah, this is badass. So epic. I love the repetition. I love the angle and the scale that you're getting from this. Yeah, it's super, super cool.
Bam. thank you, Andre, and keep posting, keep making stuff, keep tagging us. We want to be seeing what you're doing.
Sweet. Let's see. Dude, this one blew me away. This is Jacob, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it is. I want to make sure I get his name right. Jacob Scott.
Yeah, Jesus. This is
Jacob.
This is just amazing, and it took me. It kind of like I did a double take yesterday when I saw it posted. So badass. Love the characters. Love the story that's being told in here. Yeah, it's super cool. I love how these knights are kind of guiding you with their eye lines down to this scene playing out right down here. And I think the use of the Deco or of the Gothic kit is so perfect. Going back to like what Emanuel Ax was saying about using shapes, right? And for this, it's very deliberate, the shapes that are used in the architecture to pull your eye to specific places. And having this bridge kind of take you into this scene going on down here. And all of these pillars bringing your eye downward. It's really beautiful, and the shapes and pieces that are used are so deliberate and just really well done.
Yeah, I think it's so cool too. Thank you for hashtagging KB3D Contest. Thanks for using your Gothic kit, Jacob, and keep rocking, man.
Yeah. Cool, and I think the last one we have is
okay. So
this crappy piece.
Speaking of Emmanuel Ax, he sent this to us today. Which,
God damn it, dude.
I know. Just
what the.
I mean, if you were watching that stream, I literally couldn't talk while he was doing this. Because what he's done here is this is all 4 kits. You know, inside here you can see the deco pieces laying on their side, or the creature here is the man from one of his most famous pieces out of his LearnSquared apprenticeship with Alex Fagini. And the dome here is actually from the Arabic kit. This centerpiece is from Neo Tokyo, and these side walls here are Gothic. You can actually see the Art Deco buildings laying on their side coming at us. But I think, talk to me about this, Max.
I don't have anything to say except I don't like that Emmanuel can do this. I just don't like it.
Man, if I would love to have him join us in this combo to talk about this, because I think just he did something that I was so pumped to see. Yeah, Chris Bohan says, "Good Lord, it's awesome." Mike Johnson in the house says, "Well done." He did something.
What's up, Mike?
Yeah, what up, Mike? Good to see you, man. He's been around a bunch. E-Man says, "Who the hell did that shit? It sucks." Well, yeah. What he did what I've been dying to see someone do is bash the kits.
Yeah, all of them,
right.
Which is nuts. And I same thing. I've been waiting for someone to do that. And when he said he was going to do that, I was like, oh, great. Let's see how that piece of shit turns out. And then like this comes out of it. Wow. Yeah. I don't even know what to say about this other than like, this is one of my favorite paintings I've seen in a long time. I'm blown away.
Hold on one second. I got an incoming call. Do we have Emmanuel Ax on the line? E-Man, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, Max, are you still
God
there?
damn it.
Yes.
What is up, dude?
What's up?
Holy crap, this is epic.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I mean, I actually didn't have enough time to really do what I wanted to do with all the stuff, but I thought, well, let me try some new aesthetic to simplify stuff, and it was just a lot of fun. I think I'm going to do more.
Dude, yeah, please do. Like, I just want to see it. I want it for myself. Yeah, I mean, also, I mean, we've never talked, we've never met. I've been following your work for a long time, and I'm stoked that you got the kits in your hands, and then we get to meet through this. And I've loved watching your work for the last couple of years.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been following your stuff, and I've been listening to every stream you've had.
Oh, sweet.
You know, and everything. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's kind of addictive and it's a lot of fun. I mean, I can't wait to sort of use it more like the way it's intended because I was actually. It's fun to put all the stuff together, but I was like, well, maybe I should really, because I lack a lot of fantasy stuff. So I'm like, oh, I think it's time to try to do a fantasy piece, and just like it's fun to put them all together, but it's also really good to kind of make a real solid piece that's like not really my genre. And this piece, I was like, how because I'm a photographer, so I'm like, how do I kind of, wonder if I could just use some of these kits and make some really cool shapes and make some like a cool photography kind of, shot, So I was just giving it a try. It's a lot of fun, man. And I love seeing all the stuff that's out there right now. It's super cool.
Yeah, well, I think your stream changed things, like changed how people are looking at these kits now. Definitely it did that for me when I was watching it, and I've seen a bunch of artwork come afterwards where it's like, I think people are realizing different possibilities now, which is super cool. And I think, how you got super creative with it is gonna lead to a lot of other artwork that gets very abstract and creative with how to use pieces.
Yeah, it's funny because all those 4 kits actually go really well with each other. There's so much you can do.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's, one of my favorite things about the kits is finding the like little secrets in them or finding like the serendipity that happens there. Just like these pieces that you have running sideways are, they're like a small little detail piece that is kind of hidden in the kit almost.
Yeah, but they're awesome. It's really good, man. I was like playing with it and I just couldn't stop. And I was like, you know what? You really need to post something because like everybody's like going, well, where's what, and I'm like, oh, crap. So, I was like, okay. Because I have this other one with the buildings on the side and it looks like a ship. I was like, oh, this could be something, but like, dude, I have no time. I can't do that. I mean, you know how it is when you've got work and you've got like 2 jobs and you're like, oh my God, I got to do something. And
dude,
so,
I feel you. That's like every week for me, especially with
I'm sure
with these too, because like when we get new kits, all I want to do is play with them, and try to make the covers too for the new kits coming out. But it's always the same thing, like I just got to get something out there.
Yeah. Are you doing this, or are you doing more? You work jobs too now, or what are you up to?
Yeah. I mean, I'm still working full time. Got my slate of projects, and Blur keeps me happy and busy with cool stuff. But yeah, also just doing this and trying to keep art directing and designing kits and doing the covers for the kits are kind of my like the fun paintings, my personal paintings now. So instead of doing personal practice on my own. The covers are kind of that outlet for me.
Yeah, I mean, I this is like, I think it's the first of a whole series that's going to be kind of like this for me. It's just
sweet.
I have so many ideas, but I just okay, like get something out because you end up tweaking it forever.
Yeah, definitely. Well, this looks super rad. I would have this as a print hanging up in my place. Like that's how much I love this.
I appreciate that, but yeah, it was just a lot of fun, and it couldn't. And I wanted to do something. I mean, I put the statue in there because I thought you needed some kind of a focal point, but in the end, I wanted to do it just with the kit. I didn't want to add too much stuff, like not, I wanted to, like don't add a lot of paint, just let's just see what you can get with just the kit. There's like no textures, just some shaders. It's as simple as it can get, but I think you could yield a lot of really cool results.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So awesome, great job on this, man. I can't wait to see what else you guys come up with.
Thanks, dude.
Thanks, man. Yeah,
every time you guys come up with something, I'm gonna put it together and Trying to do something crazy.
The first part of your stream where you took the Deco building and turned it on its side and turned it into a ship that was flying in this space opened that whole world up for me.
Yeah, oh, I want to do that one so bad.
Yeah.
And I was like trying to do it. I was like, oh man, this is like not enough time. So I went for something more simple, but that one's coming.
Awesome,
man.
awesome. I can't wait.
Oh yeah, it was great. I just wanted to call in and just say, I didn't want to hijack your stream, but just to say a quick hi. And I had never met you, so hopefully we'll get to meet sometime in person.
Yeah, definitely. We'll definitely chat because I think Banks and I are headed up to San Francisco this month.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we'll follow up with you on that one. But before you go, Eman, anytime you want to jump in on a stream with us, please hit us up. We're so pumped to have you here. But
Yeah,
Max,
no,
you and I didn't get to talk about this, but Eman and I spoke about the Stannis camp, Game of Thrones. Piece.
Yeah.
So Emmanuel made a concept piece for the Stannis camp in Game of Thrones, and then Max ended up doing the matte painting on that same piece.
Yeah, here, I'll pull it up.
Did you do that at Blur or where did you do
No, that was with Atomic Fiction.
Right. Oh, were you up here?
No, I had my own studio at the time, so they outsourced this stuff over to me.
Okay, all right.
Isn't that
But yeah,
awesome?
I took your
That looks familiar.
Yeah, right.
yeah, exactly. I took your concept and then built the matte painting of it. So yeah, super cool. We got to collaborate without knowing it.
Yeah. No, I mean, when I send these things off to Kevin and those, or I don't know, with Kevin or Ryan, but yeah, you never know where it goes and how. I thought they had some in-house team because that's what they usually do. They never tell me, so I don't know. It's awesome though.
Yeah, and it's the same way on my end. Like I get a concept and I never know who did it. So I'm like, I wonder if I know who did this concept piece and do the matte painting from it, and usually find out like years later, like, oh shit, the person I'm hanging out with did that concept.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised that that's not a shot that they would actually ask you to do more concept on, I was like, oh, really? Okay.
Well, I think it's good. I know that a lot of studios have the concept artists that they trust and that they've worked with for years and years. And that's awesome. It makes my job super easy. Like I love doing concept work, but when there's a tight turnaround for a matte painting and they already have a concept ready to go, it's like, oh, cool, I know exactly what you want to hit. Now I can just sit down and execute.
Yeah, no. That's definitely a good point. But I think right now it bridges the gap a lot. I'm sure you're doing a lot of concept stuff too at Blur, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That's just funny though.
Yeah, I know.
I love
Such a
that.
small world.
But yeah, we definitely got to meet. Yeah, that's because everything's virtual now.
Yeah.
80% of my production designers, I have not met them, and we've been working for years together. It's weird.
Yeah, dude. Well, we'll definitely hit you up for a beer as soon as we get up to San Francisco.
Oh, for sure.
Great.
And hit us up anytime you're in LA too, because that would be fun.
Yeah, I actually might be there next month. So.
Oh, awesome.
Cool, awesome. Well, I will let you guys continue. Thanks again for having me on, and I just can't wait to see more stuff from you guys.
Awesome, yeah, dude. Thank you so much. Good to chat with you.
Yeah, and we'll meet soon.
Yeah, definitely.
Good luck on everything. Okay, bye.
Thanks.
See you, man.
Bye.
How awesome is that?
Yeah, so cool.
Oh man, he's so rad. Just everything he's done. I mean, he's so prolific, and the fact that he can just crank these things out, and I can't wait to see what he's gonna do with more of these.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. I want this as a print up in my place. This is just too cool.
Yeah, I mean, with his permission, that should be on the homepage.
Oh yeah, I would love to put it up there. Yeah, super cool. Thank you, Emmanuel, and thanks for jumping on. You're always welcome on, and yeah, I can't wait to watch what you do next with these.
Yeah, seriously, man. He's incredible. Did you know? I learned this doing the stream with him. He was a Team USA table tennis player.
Yeah, I saw that on the stream. I was
thing?
like, what the? God
Right?
damn it! I hate people who are really good at multiple things.
And he was telling me that most of his coaching that he does for that he does online. So he'll like take videos of himself playing table tennis and send that to his coach, and his coach will critique him.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, sweet.
I wonder how long until we are all interacting in like headsets and full virtual space.
I mean, we're getting pretty damn close, dude.
Right?
Pretty damn close.
Anyone out there on the stream like virtual reality? You guys paying attention to that space? BNQP has joined us in the room, who has been with us for many of these streams. By the way, have you posted work? I know you got a kit. Have you posted any of your work with it? We're looking forward to it. He says, "Let me know if you guys are looking for good eats in San Fran. I just moved out there." Right on, man. We will keep you informed.
We're always looking for good eats.
Bingo. We love good eats.
Yeah.
VFX Central works at the Void. Right on, man. The Void is where Cliff Plummer now is, and he came from Digital Domain actually, and then was at Jaunt, and they are now making the big VR experiences that location based, where you can walk through, and they made the Ghostbusters one in New York, which is to date heavily touted as the best VR experience out there.
That's awesome.
Speaking of Emmanuel Shu and VR, we've got he's did the concept work on Ready Player One.
Yeah.
Which will come out.
So cool.
I
love that book. I can't wait for that movie.
Yeah, I'm on radio silent about the trailer. I don't want to see anything. When I know that I want to go see a movie, I try not to find out anything about it. I just want to get in the theater.
Yeah, I definitely checked out the trailer because I was so confused of how the hell they were going to execute it. And not make it look cheesy or like Uncanny Valley or any of that. And just watching that trailer, I was like, okay, you got it. You know how to work. Do it.
I mean, I can't imagine how they got all the IP for that.
Yeah.
George Emanuel.
Well, when Spielberg comes calling too, though.
Right. Everyone's like, yes, we will
yeah,
team up
sure,
for you.
use it.
George Emanuel is in the room, who has been with us also and has a kit himself. P.S. When are we going to see some of your work? He says he's waiting for his Oculus! Exclamation point. Yeah, man, I'm pumped. You also had a question yesterday about educational licenses. Just shoot us an email at info@KitBash3d.com, and let's talk about that there. We'll see how we can help you. VFX Central has invited us to Utah to take us through the Void's location there. That's the original Void location, man. That would be awesome.
We gotta wait for the winter so we can do some snowboarding too.
Oh, that's a great idea. I'm loving all these ideas. Steve Teep's in the room. What up, man? He's been with us for the whole rundown of this thing, and he's very active with us on social too. If you're not active with us on social, don't be shy. Jump in. Get in the conversation with us. Hit us up. We are here to be a resource and a teammate and a community for you and all of us. So join us in the game. Let's jump into a demo of some sort. Yeah, Max?
Sure. Should we pull through? We can either pull through a PSD or I can jump in and start bashing.
Quick vote.
What do you think?
Quick vote. You want to see Max pull through a PSD? Why don't we do a quick look at the Art Deco PSD? Which, if you are on our newsletter, George Emanuel says PSD, triple exclamation point. If you are on our newsletter, you'll be getting a little special present today. So be sure that you are on the email list if you're interested in that sort of thing.
Yeah, we could just tell them.
Well, I like surprises, but you go ahead, Max.
Well, we're going to send out this PSD to everyone on our newsletter today, so that I'll run through what I did, but then you guys can pull through the layers and play with it too. So I think it's really valuable. Like, I always love getting people's PSDs because I can see their thought processes and how they work and what tools they're using. And especially with, like, my PSDs are anally organized. So I think it'll give you guys, just another resource, another way to learn. Speaking of present, dude, we didn't announce.
You're right. Yes.
KitBash code.
We have a coupon code, courtesy of all the awesome artists who have been on this festival stream with us. So if you want to go on to KitBash3d.com and pick up a kit, you can use the coupon code MAXX, MAXX, all caps, 20, and you will get 20% off of your entire purchase. So if you want to get even a couple kits, you can get 20% off the whole bag. So again, the coupon code is MAXX, that's all caps, 20, max 20. Get them while they're hot, because we're going to run. Go ahead, Max.
Also, sorry to cut you off. Also, since we announced it late, we'll let that run for the next hour.
Bangarang.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've got 60 minutes. Go snag them up. And George says, "OMG, I will show that to my student." Right on, man. George is on my list.
Dude, definitely share the PSDs with your students. I think it's an awesome thing. Awesome thing. Okay, let me just respond.
There you go. So that coupon code is live now. KitBash3d.com. Pick up a kit. Show us what you're doing with it.
Cool. So let's pull through this thing. Let's start. It's a pretty big PSD. A lot of stuff going on in here. So I think it'll be good to pull through. Let's start with the renders. So this is with the Art Deco kit, right? And I put together the city. The way I went about it really quick on the kit bashing front was I kind of pulled aside a bunch of pieces and built like my own little set to kit bash from, where I'd build like 5 buildings out of different buildings, so you get even more variation, and then kind of put them together in this kind of city grid. And so once I kind of started and made a ton of buildings, and then I bashed those buildings again together. And then rendered out some passes, beauty pass, AO, global illumination, just a lighting pass, reflection pass, and a little clown pass.
What software are you rendering in?
I'm rendering out a Keyshot.
Cool. And you're doing your like sandbox builds from Maya?
I am, yeah. So I assemble it in Maya, bring it into Keyshot, do my textures and lighting there. I didn't do any textures on here. I just threw shaders on because I just wanted to paint it up. One
thing you and I spoke about early on in the process of making the key art for these things, you talked about a mannequin without a head. Can you tell us what you mean by that?
Yeah, so when I'm making these covers, one of the things I really wanted to do was to make a cover that got people's imaginations going and created something that they wanted to play in that world. But really what I'm doing here is I want to create a stage where you can see where you'd want to put your own characters, or a stage where you'd want to show a story, but not show the story or the characters there. And the idea is when you go shopping and you see clothes and you see a mannequin without a head, it's so that you can envision your own head in those clothes. So that's the idea behind these.
That comes full circle with the idea of our festival as well. We wanted to make a stage for these great artists to come in and make their own pieces. And it's cool to see how many of those artists have taken characters, as Nick Hyatt called it, the noun, or as Jan Urschel called it, his focal light, where they put someone in their stage and they made it wholly their own. So cool to see in Emmanuel's, where he used that guy that's so iconic for him. It's on the homepage of his website. Or Alex Fagini used one of his very classic characters and put them in a destructed Neo Tokyo City.
Yeah, definitely. So with that, compositionally, that's what I was looking at. Is I wanted this highway in the center to be kind of the stage for your character, where you can imagine a car or a motorcycle or just a guy walking through it, and kind of in this giant overbearing city.
It's interesting to me the amount of directors and writers that have reached out and said, man, for any of the 4 key art, they're like, man, I just see it, two motorcycles speeding through road rash style, we got to make that story. or
Yeah.
however they see it coming out,
Yeah, I've gotten like a couple messages of like, dude, we gotta make a short film with this whole thing. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, that was the point of the painting, was to make you have that reaction.
Yeah.
And you can make short film with it. Like, this kit is there for you. Like, go make short film. You have all the pieces you need.
Bam. Yeah. Speaking of that, the gates are open. The race is on. Who's gonna put this to video first? Who's gonna make something in motion with this?
Oh yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. Because I think that's one of the huge perks of 3D in itself. Watching David Tilton work yesterday, he had a concept and he had 45 different cameras around it.
Yeah.
And so like Emmanuel was talking about making a whole series with the world he's built. I'm just like, that's so awesome about this. It's totally different than had you just used Photoshop, on its own to build your own world.
Yeah,
to build a
definitely.
flat world.
Well, let me pull through. Let me keep pulling through this.
Go for it.
So these are just like the clown mats. I usually do like a little like color correction, or just like a sketch right on top to make sure I'm going to be able to pull the eye where I want it to go. So you can see just like this little layer here, just like some base color corrections and stuff. Right now everything's pretty even, and just doing that is like, okay, cool. If I haze this up and add a vignette and a little light hitting this bridge, I know I'll be able to pull your eye over here. So I'll do that like right away, just to make sure that the composition is going to work for what I want. And then once I know that that's working, then I go in and start, really painting this whole thing up. I'll do like I split the whole thing up into here. Let me do this into background, midground, front, midground, foreground, right? But I'll just kind of go through these. So background, do my little comp with adding the ambient occlusion, the global illumination, and the reflection, some color correction on it, and just getting these roads back here. And it's it's not perfect and the perspective's off, but it's really just like you're barely going to see it. So I'm just throwing some texture on there, and that texture is just I take like a random photo, or not a random photo. I take a photo of just something to break it up, do some color correction, and then I'm adding my render passes back onto it.
Bangarang.
And adding atmosphere, like smoke and stuff like that. And then and I ended up just darkening this whole thing down a bit because it was taking away a little too much attention. So midground, again, doing my kind of mix of all the render passes in here, little color correction. I ended up painting a ton of mats for this, which I could have done in 3D, but I have a Cintiq, so it's pretty fast for me in Photoshop to do this. And honestly, I'm just not good enough at 3D to get the mats I want. So anyways, from there, what I was able to do is add textures to this whole thing. So I have it split up by facades and added all my different textures in here, just like little concrete grounds that I can flip on and off, and kind of just roll through these, so just getting stuff to break up the CG so it didn't look as CG and really had some little more grit to it. And then a little color correction on top of the whole thing. So I'll just turn that off and on so you can see a before and after. And
those were textures you wrapped, Max?
No, those are textures I painted in Photoshop. Just photos that I'm throwing in there.
Gotcha.
And then put some street photos in there, just to get a street in there. Added some grunge to the metal. Added some more atmosphere. Get this foreground in here. Same process. Where I do my. Yeah, let's just pull the bridge up. So I have my CG bridge, adding textures to the pillars, adding this road in here, The road is, again, just I'll kind of just pull through this. And when you guys have the PSD, you'll be able to check it out in even more depth. So for the road, I use smart objects to get the perspective right. Did my color correction to it, and then started adding my render passes from the CG right on top of beauty, AO, GI, reflection, just kind of starting to color correct everything and get it, where it needs to be.
Let me just catch us up on the comments. Seagull Rush asks, how do you align the perspective of CG and Photo Bash?
Sure. So I make a perspective grid. So this is really using like the pen tool to draw out your perspective grid. And then what I'll do is I'll create smart objects. So these are flat textures. And then with those smart objects, I'll just align it to the grid. But what the smart objects let me do is if I want to move this, I can move it along the grid. So it's always in perspective. So that's how you align photo textures to CG and have proper perspective in it. That's kind of the quick 2-minute rundown of the whole thing. But that's the basic idea. And if you watch a couple of my other streams or the LearnSquared course, I go pretty in depth about smart objects and perspective.
Right on. Seagull, thanks for your question. He says, what about the photos with the cars? Question mark.
Oh, this was like, this was just brute force with these roads. Yeah, let me see. I even flattened them down because it was so much. Look, it's messy. It was a lot of like clone stamping and healing brushing and stuff like that. But I just needed to get it to to cover where these specific areas. So I was just distorting around a lot, and then patching in and hand painting a lot of stuff to get it to work. It's pretty messy, but it works for the painting. In production, I'd probably spend a lot more time getting that working better.
Bam. Thanks for the questions, man. And of this Photoshop doc will be on the newsletter. So we're going to send that out tonight. So if you are subscribed to our newsletter, which is also where you'd get your sample kit, you'll be looking for a prize in your inbox tonight. And he also says, sorry, I skipped the Maxx 20. What is that for? Good question. Maxx 20, MAXX's all caps, number 20, that's 20, is a coupon code that if you go on to KitBash3d.com, you can get 20% off your entire order during this stream. So go there, check it out. We'll leave it on for a little bit after the stream is over too. But courtesy of Max and all the other artists who have been on the KitBash3d Festival during these streams, as a thank you guys for jumping in with us. We're throwing a coupon code there so you can get 20% off your entire order. Back to you, Max.
Awesome. Yeah, so this is just kind of running through all the layers, and this building, I ended up just using a photo for it. I tweaked the photo into perspective quite a bit. I ended up flattening it just because it became like a whole painting in itself, was just like getting this building working. And then ended up painting out and patching up all the fans because I wanted it to feel, a little more old style and not just kind of modern. So that's just pure painting and clone stamping and all that noise. And then color corrections, just to get that in there and working. And then once I got to this point where I was like, okay, things are working. All the photos are in there, the textures, it doesn't look super CG. Now it's time to actually go and do my final color corrections. So this was where I ended up with the flat. I flattened everything else and then started color correcting on top. And the big thing with the color corrections was just making sure that I had the eye going where I wanted it to. So like threw some God rays in here, levels adjustments and a vignette, so we can start to pull the eye to this bridge. And then kind of just enforcing that even more. And then some final just little adjustments of like, okay, let's hit the reflections in these windows, get a little more light going on in these metals. And that's the final painting.
Max, how do you make decisions in the middle of a painting? Things like do I paint out the air conditioners and things? How do you determine? Because I'm sure there's an endless amount of decisions and amount of cost and time that you could be making tweaks. How do you decide if something is worth it, or if you're like, hey, it's off on the side and we got to keep moving?
I think when I'm going through a painting, the first thing is I need to go through my process. And I guess I kind of have like a base that I want to get, a base level that I need to get everything up to. So like painting out all the air conditionings and stuff like that, that's something I did way later in the process. And really, it's like once I get everything working to a certain degree, then I have a to-do list of like all the things that I would like to be fixed and all the things that is just like intuitively bugging me. Mm-hmm. And then it becomes a race to how long before I'm completely sick of this painting or out of time.
Right.
Because like this painting is maybe 60 to 100 hours, and once you hit that point in a painting, it's like, do I want to go back and like fix the perspective back here when like, how much of it do you really see? Fuck it. Like, do I want a little more breakup in textures in this background building? Like, yeah, I do. And that's something that's wrong with it. And that could be a lot better. Like this area could be a lot better. But like from here, that might be wasted time. Mm-hmm. But it really, like, I will go and do all that stuff up until the point where the painting gets ripped from my hands, or I put so many hours into it that I can't stand looking at it anymore.
Right, because in the client space, when you're working there, it's just about a deadline, right? And so you have to make decisions that can get you the most bang for your time dollar.
Yeah, and really, like, that's why I try to work as fast as possible up front, because I want to get to the 90% mark in the first 50% of the project timeline. Yeah. So I'm like, race. Let me just get as far as possible so I have everything working really quick. Mm-hmm. And then it's up to whatever client will allow me, like, will let me indulge in like trying to make it perfect. And some clients, a lot of my clients, I think, and I like to think, let me do that because they're hiring me because I know how to get to the last 10%. Mm-hmm. Like that's why I do more matte painting than concept art, is because like I know what those last steps are and can spend the week to do all the little things.
Right. To bring it to the screen. We got a question for you. Do you have any advice for artists learning 2-point or 3-point perspective matte paintings? And can you offer any advice on knowing which elements will work in perspective and which won't? How much distortion is too much? Cheers.
Awesome. Take my matte painting course.
So one punch
honestly,
munch. One punch munch is a great name, by the way. Says Max, I love you, and a big heart.
Thanks, buddy.
If you don't know, on LearnSquared.com, Max has got an awesome matte painting course that he goes really in depth on your particular question.
Dude, honestly, like I have an entire chapter, like 25% of that course is about perspective, and it's something where I've developed like a way, and also I go through it on my streams quite a bit as well. But like I've developed like some tools and kind of a process to be able to make perspective like pretty easy. And I think taking the fear out of 2- and 3-point perspective. I would say that, most important is that you use a base plate that has that has a clear perspective in it. because I think the problem that most people run into is they use an image that has a ton of different vanishing points, and then they get overwhelmed and they end up following multiple vanishing points, and then they just break their own perspective. So keep it simple, and like make sure you're using good reference underneath it. And in terms of photo elements and how much distortion is too much, if you're trying to take a 3-point perspective and make it 1 point, you're probably not going to be able to do that, right? Like find something pretty close to the angle that you want and you can tweak it, or find flat orthographics.
Sweet. Thank you for your question. We gotta keep moving this thing along. But definitely check out the class. DD Game Boy has put the link there for you. Thanks, DD. Oh, and James Vincent down there gives you a strong testimonial. So does Brainchild TV. Right on, team. Thanks for
it's like
for
a
joining
cooking
in.
show for matte painting. That's awesome. That's exactly what I wanted to do. So yeah, it's like this is the step, and this is exactly how you set up your perspective grid and how you take an image that has perspective and flatten it out and then put it back into a new perspective, right? It's like a step by step. That would be my advice. I honestly, like, I put together that specific class because that's something that I haven't seen anywhere else, and I see so many people struggling with.
And Sumo Jack, I want to make sure we get to this before it gets out of the chat feed. Says, I just tuned in. What is this amazing stuff? Forgive me if I sound like a broken record. This is KitBash3d.com. These are 3D architectural assets for all of you artists out there. You can right now jump on to KitBash3d.com and use the coupon code MAXX with 2 X's 20 to get 20% off your entire order. That'll go on while Max is streaming, and we'll leave it going for a little bit after that as a big thank you to the artists for being part of this thing with us. What you're looking
Thanks.
at...
You're like the new ShamWow guy.
ShamWow guy. I feel like I got this on loop. But you're looking at the Art Deco key art that Max made for our kit. And you can also, if you are on the email list, you will get a PSD of this today, free to your inbox. George Emmanuel asks, what is your favorite DP?
Oh, man, that's a tough question. I mean, I feel like Emmanuel Lubitsky is kind of like the go-to answer. But I think Roger Deakins, and I'll tell you, like, my Roger Deakins became my favorite DP on Sicario. Like, I've loved all of his, like, classic, like, he's done so much, and Wall-E and all of this animated stuff too, which is unbelievable. But Sicario for me was like some of the best cinematography I've ever seen, because I never thought about the cinematography. Like, at no point did it pull me out of the movie. It was gorgeous, and you can look at the screenshots and go, oh my God, every frame is a photograph. But in the movie, it doesn't detract attention. And I think Emmanuel Lubitsky is like one of the most incredible photographers, but I feel like when I watch those movies, I'm more paying attention to the cinematography than the story or the movie.
That's a really interesting point. I totally see what you mean there. Because when I watch Chivo's work, I'm just like, this is some of the most fun. You know, if you watch like Birdman or Gravity right before that, you're like, whoa, these are just so polarizingly different, and they're like a nonstop movement.
Yeah.
But watching Deakins, you know, no matter which director he's working with, it serves the story in its own way. You know.
Yeah, and I that's what I respect. That's what I try to do with my matte paintings, and something. I guess it's just like it's a different flavor. Like, for me, when you're working in a collaboration in a team, it's not about pulling the attention to yourself. And I'm not saying I'm not talking bad. Like I absolutely love him. I'm just saying in general, I think it's two different trains of thought, or two different styles in terms of when you're working on a team. And for me, everything I do, I respect when people can be invisible and just serve the greater story.
One DP I've just had really fun watching is Alan Arkapaw, younger dude who did Macbeth. And
Oh yeah.
I mean, just some of the most fun cinematography in that movie. I mean, if you just watch the trailer of that, I think it will really get you going. But talking about style and understanding.
Another great one is Valhalla Rising. That movie is so stunning and so unique in its cinematography. Something completely different than I've ever seen.
George Emanuel says you're like a DP to him in his mind.
Thanks, dude.
And Chris says, I tried to screen cap Sicario and still got lost in the cinematography and forgot what I was watching that movie for. Yeah, right on. Oh, yeah, and Lucas chimes in with No Country for Old Men, the Deacons movie. Obviously, the movie is so rad.
Completely.
Deacons did another movie that year that was up for the Oscar, I think. Oh, no, it was Ellswood in the same year did Assassination, Jesse James, and There Will Be Blood. And so he won that year while he was on the bill twice. George says you need to take a look at Robert Bresson, A Man Escaped, Balthasar at random. Right on. Thanks for the rec. And then
Awesome.
One Punch Munch says Beyond the Black Rainbow, awesome soundtrack. Great. So we got some movies to throw on the
docket
here. On the docket. Okay. Well, we gotta. I know we gotta get rolling here. Why don't we save? It is 11:15. Do you have time to keep going, or you want to save what we've got in store for next week?
I don't think I have time to do a demo. I can pull through something else. I don't really know if I have anything to pull through. Let's save it for another time where we can actually spend the entire stream doing a demo. Because also right now my mind is too distracted by Emmanuel's painting, where all I'm going to do is rip that off. And I'd prefer to have a little space so that when I rip it off, I can at least hide it a little better.
There you go. Yeah, and give it a week. Everyone will have forgotten. Well, Twitch stream, we could not be more grateful for your attention and for your participation, jumping in the stream, giving us all these awesome questions, stuff to talk about, movie recommendations. This is so cool for Max and I, having been at the end of the KitBash3d Festival. We have Ash Thorpe coming to the stage, of course, tomorrow. And this has been such an awesome ride. This was the perfect way to launch our product and get you all involved. And we're going to find a way to continue this. If you have some ideas for more ways that we can be bringing you value, more things you want to see from us, let us know. But as many of you know, this is Max's regular Tuesday 10 a.m. slot on this LearnSquared stream. So you can probably find him here next week. Is that right, Max?
That's right. And I just want to say with KitBash real quick, we're pushing this hard because I want a library of kits. That's what I personally want. I want to have every style possible so that I can use them constantly. And I would love it if we can release these kits and inspire other people to do paintings of genres or styles that maybe they hadn't thought of yet. And so thank you guys for being behind us on this whole thing, because really what we're trying to do is we're trying to build our library, a collective library, rather than me just hiring modelers and having my own personal library and just being holding them all hostage. I want this to be a team effort, and I want all of us to build a collective library that lets us all do better work and do it quicker.
Jump in, get involved with us. You got a little bit more time if you want to pick up your kit today. Max 2X's 20 will get you 20% off. Get on the get a sample kit and get on the email list. You'll get a PSD doc from us. Get involved in the sample kit contest. Connect with us on social media at KitBash3d across all the Insta, tweet, face. Hit up Max or I on social media too if you want to kick it with us. We got a couple quick questions. Let's run through them real quick. I have found studying matte paintings by screen capping them in movies and trying to recreate them as a great way of learning and getting inspired. Which movies have you seen that have matte paintings that you would consider very worthy of learning from? Or another way to ask the question, which movies have matte paintings you admire?
Yeah, my favorite matte painting movie is Book of Eli. Deke Farron did all of those paintings, and they're stunning. Like, they blow me away. Yeah, I think that's masterful. I love the matte paintings in Blade Runner. Just the compositions are gorgeous, and it's just juicy, as the kids say.
It's juice, straight up juice.
Yeah, I would say check out Book of Eli though. Like, it's really stunning. Yeah.
And George Emanuel, it says 3 every 3 months. Tune in, stick with us. We got
Maybe
some.
We'll announce something next week.
Oh, just maybe. Yeah, tomorrow, Wednesday, 10 a.m. back here. We'll be with Ash Thorpe, and then next week for sure. Mark your calendars. Tuesday with Max. PR5K says, bought the Neo Tokyo kit with a discount code just a few minutes ago, by the way. Thanks a bunch, guys, for all the work on the kit, for selling them, for walking us through the stream, and for the discount. Can't wait to dive into it. PR5K.
Awesome. Can't wait to see what you do.
There you go. Yeah, be sure to tag us. Make some cool stuff with this. Have some fun with it. Let us know. Winter Boar in the room, who I hope you saw that we showcased your work a little earlier, says thanks for the great kits and awesome streams. Chris Bohan says, looking forward to picking that PSD apart. Great streams. Alex says, thanks. Thank you, Alex. Winter Boar. Bangarang. Infinite Divide, thanks for being here. We know you've been with us for the long run of this thing. Thanks so much for being part of this, everyone. This is all about you guys. So help us figure out how we can be bringing you more awesome stuff, and we are there for you. All right.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. And yeah, we'll see you. We'll see you tomorrow with Ash Thorpe, and I'll see you guys next week.
Bangarang. KitBash3d out. You know that.